You have no idea what to expect, but that's actually a really good thing. And I want to talk about that in today's video. I want to talk about the fact that these expectations not only can stop us from going and making the change that we want to make in the first place, but it can also like really trip us up when we're on the journey. So no matter what you're trying to change, I'm going to talk a lot about alcohol here, but no matter what it is you're trying to change, it is absolutely going to be full of expectation. You're going to have so many things that you are expecting, right? Whether it is that you're trying to lose weight, or you're trying to change your job, or you're trying to change the way you think, or change your relationship, or trying to change your relationship with alcohol, we are going to have expectations. Like every time I work with someone, I ask them, like, all right, what's going to happen, right? If you actually get to where you want to go with alcohol, what is going to happen? And I'll hear things all the time, things like, oh, I want to lose weight, and I'm going to, I'm going to feel better every day, and my relationships are going to get better, and on and on and on. You probably have a list the same yourself. And here's the thing. Those are wonderful. Those are great. You should keep those. Those can be incredibly motivating. They can be awesome and like a fantastic way to like get yourself moving and keep yourself moving. However, there's a dark side to expectations. There's a problem with expectations, and that's what I want to talk about in this video. See, what happens very often, I talk to people who are making a change, and so they'll give me a list, and maybe there's 4 or 5 things, I don't know, like whatever. There's a number of things, right? But then those become the things. Those become the things through which they're measuring. Like, is this change working? Is this change worth it? Do I enjoy this? So like when it comes to something like quitting drinking, right? Someone will say something along the lines of, oh, I'm going to lose weight. My relationship's going to get a lot better, and I'm not going to have hangovers in the morning, right? And so those are my expectations. That's the list. Those are the things. And so they go and they start this alcohol-free journey. And then like one of them happens, right? Maybe they feel better in the morning because they don't have hangovers, but they're not losing weight. Their relationship isn't improving right away. And they come back to me and they're like, Scott, like, why am I doing this? Like, why am I doing this? Like, this was a major goal of mine and it's not happening. This was a major goal of mine. And for some reason, like, I don't have that. Like, I haven't gotten to that yet. And then they start to get down on themselves because 2 of the 3 things they projected aren't happening. Right? This is the problem with expectations. It sort of sets like this, like, here is the box, and all of the things that are good are going to happen inside the box. And I'm only going to pay attention to the box, right? I'm only going to pay attention to those things that I expect. And then there are certain things we don't have control of. When it comes to drinking, something like losing weight, which is a really common goal with quitting drinking, you don't have control over that, right? Your body has to heal. There's like so much we have to go through to get to the place where we start losing weight. Some people don't lose any weight at all. I did not. Quitting drinking did not change my weight at all. And I've met people who have dropped a bunch of weight, and I've met people who have wished they had and hadn't dropped any weight. Right? And same thing with something like, oh, I have this goal of changing my relationship improving. Like, yeah, it might be true that like you're able to communicate better and you're able to connect more, and like that's really awesome. But that's not an automatic recipe for, oh, things are getting better, right? That's not an automatic, like, oh, if I'm able to communicate, if I'm not drinking, then like we're going to get along better. Maybe not. Maybe not. Right? And so this is what expectations do, is they put us in this situation where essentially like have horse blinders on, right? So you're looking around and the only thing you can see are those 3 or 4 things that you listed. Right? The only thing that you can engage with are those 3 or 4 things that you said are the reason that you're changing. And so when you do something like this, when you have these expectations, when you say, oh my God, I really need to lose weight. Oh my God, I really need to fix my relationship, or whatever it might be. And again, I'm talking about this with alcohol. This is true with like many other things. I just want to be clear on that. But like when we do this, when we have these expectations, we create a scenario where if those things don't happen, then it's quote unquote not worth it. But here's the thing, and this is actually to me one of the best things about any sort of a change process. But when it comes to alcohol, you know what you can expect, right? Like, you know what? I'm going to feel better in the morning, right? I'm not going to be hungover. but not to get all Don Rumsfeld on you, but you don't know what you don't know. Right? Like you don't know what is going to happen that you can't imagine. And that's one of the fantastic parts of this process. When we are very like rigid and like, I need these things to happen for this to be a success, then that becomes a problem. And it becomes a problem because unless those things happen, I'm not a success. And if they don't happen fast enough, even though I'm finally doing the thing I want to do, I'm upset. Like I had a client tell me this, and like losing weight was a big thing that she wanted to do. And as she was quitting drinking, she was a week alcohol free, 2 weeks alcohol free, 3 weeks alcohol free, a month, like, and it keeps going. And she's mad. Now, just like take a step back and look how silly this situation is, right? She's upset because she is a month alcohol free and not losing weight. This is someone who, when we started working together, was like, I can't get 2 days together. She gets an entire month and then ends up mad, right? And it's mad because this specific thing hadn't happened. It's almost like the expectation overshadowed the actual progress she was actually making, right? So this happens all the time. And one of the things I love to invite people to do is take those horse blinders off. Like, don't have those horse blinders, right? Instead, look at what's different. Forget your list. Your list is nice and it'll probably happen. It might not happen right away, or it might not happen at all. But my one thing I can guarantee you is that there is a much bigger list of things that can happen. There's a much bigger list of things that are available to you that you're just not seeing because you're so hyper-focused with those horse blinders. So if this is you, and if you've been down this road before and you're like, you know what, I quit drinking for like, and I'll hear this, people will tell me, oh, I've quit drinking for 2 or 3 weeks and, you know, it wasn't really what I thought, or like I didn't lose any weight, and you're like beating yourself up. Take a second, take a breath, and then look around at what has actually changed. And I'm telling you, it's like really big things to really small things. Now, most of the time on people's list, they're the really big things, right? They're going to be like losing weight or, you know, like, like for me, like that I was going to be more comfortable with my job, or I was going to be able to navigate it differently, right? They're like the big quality of life things. That absolutely happens. However, there are so many more little things, right? Like I had a client call me one day. Most of my clients I talk to like daily, if not multiple times a day sometimes. But I had a client text me. She texted me that she was walking to her car, and it was like a spring morning, and she was walking to her car and she said like, wow, for the first time in a really long time, like I really could feel and enjoy the beautiful weather in a whole new way. Now, that's awesome, right? That's from having a clear head. That's from getting a good night's sleep. That's from being fully hydrated. That's from not worrying about what happened last night or beating yourself up, or that is her just living her life and experiencing it. That is fucking magical. Fucking magical. I'm going to say it that way. Like that is what that is, right? And that's not something that I've ever seen on anyone's list. So anyway, you don't know what's going to happen when you change. You don't know what's going to happen when you are, you know, going through this process, whatever change it might be, right? Whether it's alcohol or anything else, you have no idea what's to come. So the lists are great, and those are certainly things you can look for, but don't put on the blinders, right? And if you have those blinders off, take them off right now. And instead, look around, ask yourself the questions: what is changing? What is actually different? What feels new? When you do this, you start to see the changes that are actually happening in your life, and as you see the changes and as you feel the changes, you're going to live into that even more, and it's going to become this sort of like self-motivating thing. So yeah, you don't know what to expect. I don't know what to expect. And that is actually fucking perfect.